Excuse me.
What do you want now?
I'd like to report an assault.
Yes, monsieur? Where is the victim?
I'm the victim. I've been harassed by a pair of thugs.
I see. And where did this alleged assault take place?
Outside the Hotel Ubu. They stopped me as I was leaving and went through my pockets.
Could you describe the suspects, monsieur?
One looked like a gorilla, and the other looked like a weasel. Their names are Flap and Guido.
Bon.
Do you know a man named... He's a shifty-looking guy with a scar on his...
No, monsieur. Has this man any connection with the bombing of the cafe?
Yes. Do you recognize the man?
No, monsieur.
It's the guy who bombed the cafe.
This man looks nothing like a clown?
He's taken off his grease paint and costume.
Then there is nothing to link this man with the killing.
Nothing?
Hmm.
Is Rosso here?
Yes, he is.
Yes, I do.
One moment, monsieur. It's Stobart, monsieur. He insists on talking to you again.
Thank you, Moo.
What now, monsieur?
Don't you want to know what I found out about the killer?
I told you, monsieur, the case is closed. I have washed my hands of the whole affair.
Then I'll have to continue my investigations without your help.
No, you must forget the business of the clown completely. Go back to being an ordinary tourist.
Did you find out the ID of the guy who was killed in the explosion?
I already knew who he was.
I heard that the bomb victim's name was Plantar.
Your sources are reliable.
He was a big shot at the Treasury, wasn't he? Maybe that's why you've been taken off the case.
I'm sorry, monsieur. I cannot comment.
You're not going to try any of that psychic interrogation on me, are you?
Do you find the thought of my probing distasteful?
Let's just say I'd rather you didn't. I've got more doubts than doubting Thomas when it comes to mysticism.
Too bad. I think you would make an...
The day I let anyone mess with my mind hasn't dawned yet. Does this red nose mean anything to you?
I'd imagine it means you have not given up.
You're absolutely right. So long, Inspector. I found the address.
Yeah? Is he still there?
If he is, he's changed his name. What are you doing to help trace the killer clown?
Research, George.
Yeah? You have a copy of the clown's yearbook?
I have a telephone and lots of contacts.
Oh. Well, did you find anything useful?
Not yet. I'm employing my first and most useful weapon.
What's that?
Patience.
Oh, I've heard of that. Isn't it a substitute for decisive thinking? Have you found out any more about the murders?
Well, it may be nothing, but both the clown's victims visited Paris earlier this year.
When?
The second week of July. They were both here at the same time.
Did they meet?
I don't know, but I can't imagine it was coincidence.
Do you have a boyfriend?
Not anymore. There was someone, a guy in my final year, but it didn't work out. Neither did my degree.
I'm sorry.
I'm not.
Tell me more about your family.
When I was a little girl, I used to spend the winter with my grandfather and grandma. They were the best times, warm and safe in their tiny cottage. My grandfather rolled cigarettes while my grandma made hot chocolate and cakes. One day, he stopped his rolling. He put the lid back on the tobacco jar and took me in his arms. I laughed and wriggled, and with his unshaven...
What did he say?
He said, I don't smoke.
What a weird old man.
Don't call my grandfather weird. He was the nicest guy ever. I wish I was back in that cottage, instead of this crummy apartment and this noisy...
Do you want this photograph back?
No.
See you later.
What?
Whatever those two thugs are after must be important. Oh, hi.
Hello, my handsome...
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
What a hunk.
He's a killer.
I can see that. His eyes say it all.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, dear.
See you later.
That's right, miss.
I glanced without much interest at the fruit. It was dusty, shriveled, and tired looking. The window was full of overpriced clothes for overprivileged women. Hi, ma'am.
Hello.
Would you distract the clerk while I borrow a key?
Are you asking me to aid you in a criminal act, darling?
Oh, no. It's the key to an empty room.
And why, may I ask, do you wish to gain access to an empty room? Do you plan to squat?
No, ma'am.
Scouts honor?
I was never in the Boy Scouts, ma'am.
No, you should have been. What were your parents thinking of? It's a fine way for a boy to get licked into shape. Now tell me, why do you want to get into that room?
It's next to the room the killer is using.
Ah, so you plan to eavesdrop on Merlin?
I was hoping there might be a connecting door.
I shouldn't think my feminine charms would be much use in this case, but a good dose of English arrogance might do the trick. I say, you there, flunky.
madame.
Listen carefully. You do understand English, don't you?
But of course, madame.
Good. I wish to deposit some jewelry for safekeeping.
I understand.
Are you quite certain?
Oh, bien sûr, madame.
Over to you, my dear.
The door was locked. Maybe it wasn't the right room, but this was the right key. There was nothing in the wardrobe apart from a vague, lingering smell of camphor. The cabinet was empty, but it smelt of onions. No kidding, it really did. The window looked out over a narrow alley surrounded by high walls. The assassin had been too smart to leave incriminating evidence beside his bed. The bed was freshly made, and the crisp white sheets told me nothing about the killer's habits. I searched the interior of the briefcase, but as I'd half expected, it was empty. There was nothing in the pockets of the pants. There was nothing in the pockets of the pants. I had the kind of feeling in my stomach that would usually send me running to the bathroom. couldn't believe my luck when I found two items in the pockets of the pants. The first was an ordinary matchbook. No matches, no clues. The second was a pass card which read, Thomas Merlin, Gruber Electronics Corporation. That... The door was locked. Hello again. Does the name on this matchbook mean anything to you?
Indeed it does, for Alamut was the home of the old man of the mountains. You do not know him?
No, I don't. Do you recognize this card?
No, I...
Tell me again about Alamut.
It is the home of the old man of the mountains.
Thanks for your...
Goodbye.
What now, monsieur?
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
No, monsieur.
Does this...
That is Monsieur Merlin's property.
That's right. Merlin the murderer. I want to see what he's left in your safe.
Impossible. I cannot betray his confidence, no matter what you say he's done.
You're making a big...
Maybe. I can live with that.
I've just been manhandled by a gorilla.
Yes? I do not see any signs of a gorilla.
No, not a real gorilla. It was a guy who looked like a gorilla. It happened right out front of this building.
Let me get this quite clear. Are you complaining or bragging?
I want to know what you're going to do about it. The scrawny one has a gun.
I suggest you contact the police.
Can't you do anything about them?
What goes on in the streets of Paris is hardly my responsibility.
Thanks for your help, buddy.
What?
Aren't...
No one else has complained, monsieur? Did they steal any?
Well, no. They didn't find...
What was that?
I don't know. I don't think they did either. Thanks for your help, but...
Bonjour.
Hi. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
That gangster I told you about? He went through my pockets just now.
Good heavens! One never knows what to expect in foreign parts. Thank you for the warning, young man. I shall hide my credit cards in my underwear.
Are you here in Paris on vacation?
No, darling, I'm on holiday. I needed to get away after...
I didn't realize you were mourning the loss of a loved one.
I'm not. He was my husband.
I found...
So, that deceitful little man is passing himself off as an electrician, is he?
Uh-huh. This guy probably has a... I showed the pass to the clerk, hoping he'd give me Merlin's papers. But he wouldn't buy it. He's too scared.
I'll give him something to be scared of. Follow me, George! Did you place a package from Merlin in the hotel safe?
I did, madame.
And did my friend here show you Merlin's identification?
Indeed he did, but
What's the problem?
he isn't Merlin.
A mere academic detail. Give him the package.
But that is against the law.
I happen to be a justice of the peace, you silly man. I am the law. If he tries anything, shoot him, George.
My pleasure, Lady Piermont.
One moment, please.
You know, I haven't enjoyed myself this much since Greenham Common.
I don't know what I would have done without you, Lady Piermont.
Voilà, monsieur. Le manuscrit de Monsieur Merlin.
Thanks.
How satisfying. An Anglo-American alliance that actually worked.
The clerk had given me a tightly rolled sheet of parchment. I decided not to unroll it until I was safely back in Nico's apartment.
Hold it. Search him again, Flash.
Is this what you're after, Guido?
See, that's it.
I can explain everything. Well, almost everything.
Too late. You're on your way to feed the fishes.
I'm allergic to fish. I break out in blotches when I eat tuna.
Let's go.
I figured the lady at the Keys wouldn't appreciate a duet with a musical illiterate like me. Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I...
That gangster I told you...
Good heavens! Well, thank you for the warning. I shall hide my credit cards in my underwear.
Are you here in Paris?
No, darling. I needed to get away after Algy's funeral.
I didn't realize you were mourning the loss.
I'm not. He was my husband.
I'm sorry to hear about your husband's death.
You wouldn't. It did. Daphne suggested a change of scene. The wild romance is just what you need to take your... Well, we're close. I must say I was disappointed with... Not at all. I was thinking of cutting my holiday short. That was... And...
I found this...
So, that deceitful little...
Uh-huh. This guy, I showed the past, but he wouldn't buy it.
I'll give him something to be scared of. Follow me! Did you place a package from Merlin in the hotel safe?
I did, madame.
And did my friend here show you Merlin's identification?
Indeed he did, but
What's the problem?
he isn't Merlin.
A mere academic detail. Give him the package.
But that is against the law.
I happen to be a justice of the peace, you silly man. I am the law. If he tries anything, shoot him, George.
My pleasure, Lady Piermont.
When?
You know, I haven't enjoyed my...
I don't know what I would have done without you, Lady Piermont.
Voilà, monsieur. Le manuscrit.
Thanks.
How satisfying. An Anglo-American alliance.
The clerk had given me a tightly ruled... I decided not to unroll it until I was safely back in Nico's apartment.
Bonjour.
Hi, are you okay?
Oh, yeah? What?
A surprise.
Oh, I don't like mysteries.
I can't tell you just now, but I'll come show you soon. Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George.
This is what Merlin was so keen to hide.
Really? Well, that fuss for a sample.
It's some kind of manuscript, and it looks to be very old.
If I was you, I'd keep it well out of sight until you're clear of this place.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I could roll it up and put it down my pants.
No, that wouldn't do at all. You'd attract far too much attention.
Thanks for helping me get the manuscript, Lady Piermont.
Any time.
What happened to you last night?
I was stricken, Mr. Stobart.
They couldn't really miss.
It was just as I'd always imagined. The intimacy of candlelight. And then, as strange as those brooding eyes, that suave manner. He was the man I'd been waiting for all my...
I'm glad he finally turned up after all these years.
Ah, but it wasn't to be. And if I ever catch up with him...
I got the key. Thanks for your help, ma'am. I have to go, ma'am. The door. I knew this was no way to treat an ancient manuscript, but I couldn't let it fall into the hands of the goons waiting outside. If I wanted my shins sticking out, Mama Stobar didn't The cobbles of the alleyway looked very distant and very hard. If I wanted my Mama Stobar...
Hold it right there. Search him again, Flap.
Nothing, Guido.
Okay, let him go.
If the manuscript was what Flap and Guido were after, they were going to be disappointed. I couldn't wait to get back to Nico's apartment and check it out. You're just not going to believe what I found.
It's not another...
It's a medieval manuscript. Khan left it in the safe at the U-boot.
It's incredible. Is this what he took from Plantark?
It could be, which means it's worth enough to kill for.
Look there, two guys on the same horse.
Oh, yeah. Maybe they couldn't afford one each. What of it?
Have you ever heard of the Knights Templar? Their official seal was an image of two knights sharing a horse. Whatever this manuscript means, it's connected with the Templars.
How come you know about these knights?
I learned about them while writing an article on the Crusades. This guy, named Hughes de Payen, arrived one day at the court of King of Jerusalem. He offered to protect the Christian pilgrims from the displaced Muslim armies. The king would be able to guarantee safe transit to Christians in the Holy Land. Safer journeys meant more pilgrims, and pilgrims meant trade and wealth. The Templars proved invaluable to the king as a mercenary army. It was said that they never asked how many the enemy numbered, just where they were. And as the years went by, the Templars grew in wealth and numbers. They were so rich, even kings came to them for loans, but at the height of their power, they fell foul of the King of France. He rounded them up and turned them over to the Inquisition. Thousands of Templars were subject to torture and confessed to heresy. Of course, at the hands of the Inquisition, there wasn't much they wouldn't confess to. The last Grand Master Jacques de Molay was burned alive. But the treasure of the Knights Templar was never found.
Jeez. So the treasure is hidden, waiting to be discovered?
If there ever was a treasure, it's been lost for 600 years. Anyway, we're supposed to be investigating a serial killer, not a medieval treasure trove.
But maybe that's what the clown and his accomplices are after. Maybe this manuscript is the key.
You'd better leave it here for safekeeping. Think about it, Josh. One guy's already died for it, as you said yourself. Besides, that parchment is fragile.
Okay, I'm convinced. You keep hold of it. I found Plantar's briefcase in the killer's hotel room. It was empty, of course. Let's take another look at the manuscript.
Let's face it, we need help, George. Someone who knows about these things.
Who do you suggest? Indiana Jones?
I know a guy who specializes in medieval studies. His name is Lobino.
Huh. Some stuffy old fossil who gets horny over ancient relics, I suppose.
Far from it. Andre isn't the stereotypical professor you have in mind.
Where can I find this Lobino guy?
At the Kroon Museum. I'll give you the address.
There's a guy with a sword and a bull.
The only mythological bull I know of is the Minotaur, but he was only half bull.
I don't think I'd like to be half a bull, even if it was the bottom half.
What's that object between them?
It looks like a gem on top of a tripod. There's a guy working on a loom. He's weaving a carpet or a tapestry.
Or a duvet cover? It's a clue to a place, I reckon. Somewhere famed for weaving and ships.
Where folk live in barrels?
It beats copper boxes.
A knight with a crystal ball. There's something written on the scroll beside the knight.
Yes, but it's written in Latin. Per disciplinam mea lux videbis.
By my teachings, you will see the light.
You speak Latin? Where did you learn a trick like that?
A trick? I studied law, okay? I can read Latin.
My, you're touchy. Tell me that again.
Through my teachings, you will be enlightened. There's a woman looking at her reflection in a mirror, but the reflection has 3 hideous faces.
She reminds me of the wicked queen in Snow White.
She was the one who said, "Mirror, mirror on the wall," wasn't she? She made me cry so much when I was a kid. Mom carried me out of the movie theater.
She didn't frighten me in the least.
Like I said, I was only a kid. I didn't like the crocodile in Peter Pan either. Let's take another... I found this matchbook in the killer's hotel room. It's from the Club Alamut. No, what were you expecting?
If this was a movie, there'd be a clue. A name or an address. That's no use. There aren't even any matches in it.
Oh well, I'll keep it as a souvenir. I found this in the killer's room.
What is it, a credit card?
ID, Thomas Merlin, of the Gruber Electronics Corporation.
Never heard of him or the company.
Maybe I'll check out...
I'm sure you'll find it useful, George.
Through the grimy glass, I could see several large shapes in a gloomy room. What they were, I couldn't imagine. I considered smashing my fist through the pane, wrenching open the window, and vaulting triumphantly. Then I thought, no, that's dumb. Besides, I might get hurt. A real macho guy would have plunged straight into the spiky, scratchy bushes. Pardon me.
Oui, monsieur?
Are you Lobino?
Oh, no. Fancy you mistaking me for him. No, I am the deputy custodian.
But Labano does work here.
Work? I wouldn't go so far as to call it that. He studies here most days, but as you can see for yourself, not today.
Do you know anything about the Knights of the Temple?
No, sir. Not a sausage.
Thanks for your help. I tried to sneak my hand inside while the guard... Pardon me.
Oui, monsieur?
Do you recognize the man in the...
No, monsieur. Is there any...
I guess not. Thanks for your help. The case contained a collection of rocks. They were all shapes and colors, but they were still rocks. Above them, a sign read, L'Âge Paléolithique.
Attention! Please do not open the window, monsieur.
Don't you think it's kind of stuffy in here?
Better stuffy than...
What's the problem? Fumes from car exhausts?
Not just that, monsieur. There's a new burger bar opened up across the street. The Laughing Buffalo.
So what's the problem?
They cook their burgers on a charcoal grill, and the fat falls on the open flame. The amount of organic compound and smoke particles released is astounding. Since they opened, local air pollution has doubled, and it stinks like a few. That is why I keep the windows closed.
The statue didn't deserve to be mauled by a Philistine like me. I tried to sneak my hand in. I tried to raise the... I tried to sneak my hand inside while the guard was... There was nothing in the urn. In the case was a spindly tripod, blackened with age and pitted with rust. It was identical to the tripod pictured on the manuscript. A notice identified it as 15th century from Western Ireland. It had been found in Loch Marn at the site of a Knights Temple. Ireland!
What's that?
This...
I will have to ask you to keep your voice down.
I'm sorry, I was excited. I was no desecrator of tombs.
Leave it alone. That closet is over 3,000 years old.
Closet? It's a sarcophagus.
Watch out! You will have that down on top of us!
Touching an object as rare and beautiful as... Pardon me.
Oui, monsieur?
Would you like to shake...
Not while I'm on duty, monsieur.
Can you give me any further information?
Certainly, monsieur. It's infamous. That tripod, that belonged to John D.
What can you tell me about the collection of coin?
A rare example of silver coinage from the reign of Philippe le Bel. That little oil lay buried for centuries in a field. They're unique. Nothing like them has been found anywhere else.
Who was Philippe le Bel?
You don't know? Philippe IV, the King of France.
Wasn't he the guy who wiped out the Knights Templar?
I have no idea, monsieur. All I know is he was King of France. I don't even...
What can you tell me about the collection of pots?
Those are remains of pots used by the original inhabitants of Paris. The Paris pot...
When did they move out?
15,000 years ago, monsieur. Didn't even have time to pack up their...
Do you know anything about medieval manuscripts?
Not me, monsieur. I am... It is the uniform, I guess. This is the clothes.
And they ask you to park their cars?
They asked me to park the... They assume.
Whereas you know next to nothing about...
Of course not. All I am... Not less.
The sign on the tripod says it was fat.
It does?
Yeah. It doesn't mention...
Most remiss.
You don't know anything about the tripod, do you?
No, I don't. I never had much of a start in life. I owe a little education. He was an optician. He taught me the alphabet. Wait, the bottom row of the chart was too small even for him to read.
Why don't you start over and enroll for adult education?
You know, I never thought of that. Do you think if I studied art and did all my homework, I could...
At your age? What's the importance of John Dee's tripod?
Dee was the most famous escapologist of the 16th century.
Don't you mean alchemist?
Well, whatever he was, that is the tripod he used in his experiments.
What kind of experiments did John Dee perform with his tripod?
Oh, the usual. Didn't you study chemistry at...
Yeah, but we skipped over... Can I take a closer look at the
What? Get it out of the case? Ah, that tripod is protected by...
How sophisticated?
A painfully loud...
How is the alarm bell triggered?
By the slightest pressure on or movement of any part of the case wherein that tripod is situated.
It strikes me that to call your alarm system sophisticated is, well, stretching the truth a...
It has never failed yet. The sophistication is in its simplicity.
Do you recognize this? I thought...
That is right, monsieur. Renowned for... You see, in those days, people didn't have much. A few flints, some animal skins. Naturally, when the Parisi...
I guess they must have caused a kind of consumer frenzy.
Ah, oui, they can't...
You don't know the first thing about those pots, do you?
No.
Thanks for your help.
Don't even think of climbing in there, monsieur. You'll be suffocated.
I always wondered...
Don't open...
The tripod was definitely the one on the manuscript. The Templar connection. I was tempted to go to Ireland to check it out. real macho guy would have plunged straight into the spiky, scratchy bushes. Hello again. Does the name Merlin or Gruber Electronics mean anything to you?
No, monsieur.
Do you recognize this matchbook?
I can't say I do, monsieur.
Wouldn't you like to shake my...
Frankly, no.
I have to be going.
Good luck.
What do you want?
Does the name...
No,
Does this
no,
Would you like to shake...
no. One of the
Do you rec...
no.
I gotta go.
Don't let me keep you.
There was nothing of interest. The cover was too heavy and awkward to lift with my bare hands. I'd had it. I examined the boxes closely. They were damp and smelly, and decided... I'd had enough of messing with that. The door was locked. The fountain had probably been attractive at one time, but... Hello again.
Yes, Inspector.
Wouldn't you like to...
Frankly,
Did I...
we may...
I have to be...
Good luck.
It looked like some kind of antiquated invalid carriage. The door led to the apartment of the blustering old concierge. Excuse me.
What do you...
What are you going to do about Flap and Guido, Sergeant?
I'm going to bust them, monsieur. For years I have been hoping to pin something on that pair. Now's my chance.
Thanks, Sergeant. Thanks for taking...
I'm only doing my duty, monsieur.
Is wrong?
Yes, he is.
Not really.
Yes.
Yes, I...
One more. It's over.
Thank you. What now, monsieur?
Does the name Thomas Merlin mean anything?
No, monsieur.
It's another...
Ah, the...
Yeah. You might have forgotten all about it, but I still aim to find that... Does this match...
No, monsieur. God only knows why, but he collect...
Does this matchbook...
You already asked me that.
Do you know a pair of thugs called...
I have known those two since they graduated. Flap is a nasty piece of work. But Guido is the real... Where did you hear of them?
I met them out front of the Hotel Ub... So long, Inspector.
Hi, Jules.
I found the...
Where?
In the museum. It belonged... It was dug up in Ireland at a place called Loch...
I have heard of Lochmont. I read an article about the castle. Take a look for...
A popular gossip magazine? You read that rubbish? Professor Nigel Pegram, excavating the medieval castle at Loch Marne. That's strange.
What?
He resigned his chair at Durham University in order to devote his time to the excavation. Not only that, but he canceled the filming of a fourth series of his popular television program. This site at Loch Marne must be...
He's a professor of history. They're all cuckoo.
All the same, I'd like to talk to this Professor Pegram. How do you feel about a trip to Ireland? Huh?
That I won't be going. I want to follow up the bibliothèque. If you really think Pegram's dam is...
Oh my... Where is Ireland? What do you know about Professor Pegram?
I've seen a television program. He's written a book.
I'll bet... I'll see you later.
Okay.
Oh, hi.
Hello, my handsome friend.
Does this matchbook mean anything?
No, but there's no such place as the Club à la Mue in Paris.
Can you?
I can tell it doesn't belong to you.
How come?
Give me some credit. If you're an electrician, I'll eat my antirrhinums.
You're a remarkably talented lady. Would you like to shake my hand?
No, I wouldn't. I can see the future, remember?
What can you...
No.
See you later.
That's right.
Pardon me.
Oui, monsieur.
Have you ever...
Oh, no. I don't frequent places like that.
You reckon... What do you... What does...
That belong...
Pardon?
It is a priceless historical artifact.
No. Thanks for your help. The rod turned smoothly, and the window above... Pardon me.
Oui, monsieur.
Forget it. There was no obvious... A real match...
Don't open... Don't open...
There was nothing in the urn. Uh...
Do you have a fetish about...
I just love the smell. Several hours later, I arrived in Ireland, the Emerald Isle. I'd been lucky to get a bus from Dublin to the tiny village of Lochmarn. On the way out, the driver told me there was only one service a day. The menu was limited. It read, "No food today." I didn't care. I'd lost my appetite somewhere over. I tugged at the plastic cover, but it didn't move. I tugged at the trapdoor, but it was locked from the inside. I took hold of the grating and pulled hard, but it didn't move. I tried to use the key. Hi there.
What?
What's your name, kid?
Who are you calling kid?
I'm George Stobart, and I'm with the good guys.
You're a head case, miss. A few sandwiches short of a pick.
Cut the crap and tell me your name.
Liam McGuire.
What are you doing hanging around the bar, McGuire?
I'm on the run from me dad.
Why? Did you do something bad?
I ain't done nothing, boss.
You can tell me, kid.
Oh, sir. He drinks every last penny down his evil throat. And there's me poor old mother, bedridden and dying of presumption. I tried to buy her medicine. Chopped for the old skinflint cheating. Look, ma, says I. See, when suddenly me dad appears and grabs. I'm off to Dublin, heavy drinking, says he. That's why I runned away.
Compared... Do you know him?
Can you describe him like on the telly in the cop shows?
He's an English archaeologist.
I know the man you mean if he's the one.
Can you tell me where I'd find Pegram?
No, I can't, 'cause he's not here now, but if I sees him, I'll ask him.
Do you know what Pegram was doing in the castle? Do you know anything about Pegram's dig?
He wouldn't let me anywhere near. I offered to help, but he chased me off. I didn't want to see his smelly old hole anyhow.
Did anyone from the village work at the dig?
Pegram bought some students and bums with. He reckoned no one in Lochmarn would know what to. The only local guy who worked.
What does this Fitzgerald guy look like?
Big head, big ears, and face irons.
What?
You know, spectacles, glasses. He's blind as a bat without him.
What can you tell me about the castle, McGuire?
What do you want to know?
Well, can I get in?
No.
Does anyone live there?
No. Only.
What?
Oh, nothing.
You know something about the castle you're not telling me, don't you?
No.
What is it you're covering up? Is it...
I ain't scared of nothing.
I'll give you one last chance to tell me.
Oh, yeah?
Then I'm taking you back.
Oh. There's a go. It's called the Phantom.
You're not telling me you believe in ghosts, or...
Mister, I seen it with me very own eyes. Last Tuesday night, I went up to see what... I just reached the top of the wall.
What
A horrible snuffling and snorting. It was coming.
Did you find out what was making the noise?
No fear. I just sat there on the wall like humped. The moon was cracked the yard. I would have gone home, but me...
Did you get to see the ghost?
Indeed I did. And I sat on my arse, waited while the moon went down. All grey and tattered. Then, I was so scared.
I'm sure there's a rational explanation for what you saw at the castle.
There is. The blood...
Have you seen a guy dressed as a...
Here in Lochmarn?
The man I'm looking for is a dangerous psychotic.
Jesus. Did this he tries to warn the sheriff then. While he's in the tub.
My God.
Who are you?
Yeah, right.
Oh no, it's 25 that I am. 10 kids if you count the wives.
Have you ever seen this...
What a slimy character.
Take a look at this, McGuire.
It's an idea.
Ever heard of Thomas Merlin?
No?
Do you recognize this match?
No, sir. I never...
See you later, kid.
Okay, Miss...
Mr. Fitzgerald?
What?
I need to speak with you.
What's the problem?
What do you think? Wrong.
Oh.
Can I get you another drink?
Oh.
Do you know Professor Pegram?
He's the archaeologist.
That's right. Where can I find Professor Pegram?
I heard he's gone fishing. I don't know where.
Did you work at Professor Pegram's dig?
What gave you that idea?
McGuire says you did.
You don't believe that damned hooligan, do you?
Why not?
His probation officer could tell you a tale or two.
Have you heard about the gem which Pegram found?
I heard a rumor, but you can't believe everything you hear or see.
What can you tell me about the cat?
There's nothing there. Just an old ruin.
How old?
I really couldn't tell.
Have you ever explored the castle?
I used to play there sometimes. When I was... Then one of the little ones fell off the wall and broke his head. We didn't go there.
You haven't been up there recently?
No.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No. At least I don't...
Look closely. He has a scar on his face.
No, I'm sure I don't know him.
Check out this past.
Yeah. It's yours, is it?
Not
Thomas Merlin? No.
See you later. The man's arm lay across the towel, preventing me from moving it. Hi, my name's Stobart, George Stobart.
Hello there.
Do you know Professor Pegram?
Do I know him? Do I know the good professor himself? No. I mean, I know who he is, but I don't know him to talk to.
What does this... Did you...
He's not even remote.
Thanks. Do you know anything about Pegram's excavation?
Only that he didn't have the right tools for the job. What he needed was shovels and a JCB.
Pegram was digging for historical remains, not...
Is that a fact? What the hell?
It's the science of archaeology. Understanding how people used to live by what they've left behind. One day archaeologists might be digging up our remains.
Imagine that, Mr. O'Brien. I wonder what they'll find.
Well, it won't be arrowheads and beak. Fast food carton.
Is it true that Pegram found a...
What? Where have you been, Pat?
Nobody told.
Did anyone from the village work at...
I tried it myself, but that high and mighty history man called... What a...
Do you remember seeing Sean Fitzgerald at the dig?
I think me brain box needs a spot of lubricate.
Can I buy you a drink?
You most certainly can.
Give me a drink for my friend here.
Who? Doyle? Has he conned you into buying? Shame on you, Patrick.
Just to point this...
1 point of brown coming up.
Do you remember Sean Fitzgerald?
I can picture the scene as if it was only last week. Come to think of it, it was only last week. Fitzgerald was there all right. Him. He was speaking with the boss.
Can you tell me anything about the castle on the hill?
Oh, you should ask Mr. O'Brien here. He does join that right. Would you be one of them history...
That's right. Professor Stobart, Miskatonic University.
You're an archaeologist, and you're asking us about the castle.
Excuse me, Mr. O'Brien. The gentleman was talking to me. How come you didn't leave with
I didn't know they'd gone.
Oh, yes. Packed their spades and shovels and...
Seems I missed all the excitement. Bye for now. Do you recognize the man in...
It's a handsome mug on that fella, to be sure. Is he a...
Don't be fooled.
No. Well...
Does this... Do you recognize this matchbook?
No.
Are you sure you...
It's the face.
Bye for now. I was about to reach for the pump when I came to my senses. A rash move like that in a strange country with strange customs could be...